Hey guys, it's Sarah. Welcome to Books for Tea. Today I want to talk about my April reading wrap-up about the books that I have read in April. First off, just a heads up, I have only read 2 books in April because my life was crazy. And I watched Book Roast's reading wrap-up, and she talked about wrap-up shaming, which is if, you know, a booktuber is like, oh guys, I'm so sorry, I'm so sad that I didn't read more books. And I've totally done that in the past, but she said that wrap-up shaming is really stupid and you don't have to like bring yourself down for not reading a lot because it's your hobby. You can spend your time however you want. If you want to spend your time reading 20 books, that's cool if you have that time. And if you want to spend your time reading only sometimes and only finishing 2 books in a month, and I say only, but that's still a lot. Some people need forever to finish even 1 book, and that's okay as well. So what I'm saying is I'm not gonna stand here and say, oh, I only read 2 books, it's so bad. I hope that I will get back to my normal reading pace in the next couple of months, but I read 2 books and that's okay. That's something that I can be proud of. I'm really happy that I finally got to those 2 books that I have read, so yeah. So what I want to say is I'm not going to do wrap-up shaming anymore. I'm going to be happy and proud of the books that I have read, and I want to talk to you about those books, so let's get into it. The first book that I have read in April is The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, and I loved this book so much. So much, you guys. I'm thinking about doing like a book talk about it, so let me know if you would be interested in seeing that. But this was so good. So if you don't know, this is the first book in a 4-book series following Blue, the daughter of a family of psychics, and she meets those Raven Boys, which are boys that go to this really high society private school. And they have like a raven as their logo, so she calls them Raven Boys. And she gets to know this group of friends consisting out of 4 Raven Boys, and this involves so much stuff, so much magic, and it's so cool. I can't even describe it because honestly I went into this knowing almost nothing, and it was the best way to possibly go into it. So I would recommend you guys just pick this up even if you don't really know what it's about. The writing style in this book is so unlike anything I have ever read before. It was so special and great, and the story started off being really slow, and I wasn't sure if I was liking it at all, if this was the right book for me. I didn't feel like I knew any of the characters throughout like the first half of the book, and they weren't really introduced. You just sort of followed them around in their lives. And you got to know them over time, which is why the second half of this book was so amazing. Once you got used to it, once you got into it, it was so great, and I actually gave this book 5 out of 5 stars, and I need to continue the series as soon as possible. I have a lot of review books to get through in May, so I'm so sad that I can't just sit down and binge read the series, but I really have to continue these books because it's so good. As I said, 5 stars. I loved it. I can't wait to get back to these characters, and if you haven't read those books yet, I would highly recommend them. And then the second book I read in April was The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. Now this book in like the mass market paperback edition that I read had over 700 pages. I was so intimidated by it. I kind of read it for the Tome Topper Readathon. Also, if you know, I had like super ambitious TBRs for the Tome Topper Readathon and the Prideathon, and as you see, I only read 2 books. I completely like did not do my TBRs, but it's okay. But I did read The Name of the Wind because I started it for Tome Topper, so the readathon did push me to get a really huge book read, so that's good. So The Name of the Wind is the first book in this really epic fantasy series. I think it's a series, it's not a trilogy, I think. But it is a really big, epic adult fantasy series, and I just think that those aren't really for me, honestly, because like I liked Game of Thrones in the beginning, and then I was like, no. And I like the Fallen Kingdom series, but then I was like, I don't really care about any of you guys. And I know it's not an adult fantasy, but still. And now I read The Name of the Wind, and like, there are so many elements that I like, there are characters that I like, but overall, those books are so long, and there are so many things happening, and at the same time there are times when nothing is really happening and you just spend time with the characters, and I don't know, but I just feel like those high fantasy series aren't for me. It wasn't my thing. Like, The Name of the Wind follows Kavath. It's a really cool concept. We meet Kavath when he's an innkeeper at like an inn somewhere, and he's really like undercover, no one knows who he really is, and then he meets someone who wants him to tell his life story, and so he does, and that's how we like hear all about his life. And he literally starts with his childhood and like tells, I think, his entire life up to the point where he is right now, over the next couple of books. But in the first book it's like until his teenage years. I think he's like around 16 or something. And it's a huge book. It's 700 pages, so much is happening, and I found myself not really caring about all of it, but like, I totally understand why so many people love it. It's just not really for me, and I rated it 3 stars in the end, and I'm really not sure if I want to continue with the series, because on one hand I want to know what happens, on the other hand I'm not sure if it's worth it. And there's like this TV show, I think it's a TV show or a movie, but I think it's a TV show coming up with Lin-Manuel Miranda making music for it or being involved in it somehow. And like, I know that I will have to watch every second of that. So I'm really not sure if I want to get into all the other books before I watch all of that, or if I want to just not like give up on the books and just focus on that show. I'm not sure at all, but I'm kind of glad that I read The Name of the Wind, that I got it like off my TBR. It was like such an achievement for me to get through the 700 pages book, and if I want to like start the TV show I can totally do that because I have read the book, so that's cool, I guess. Yeah, as I said, those are the 2 books that I read in April. I'm hoping to read a lot in May, but I'm okay with the books that I did read. As I said, I really loved The Raven Boys. I'm really glad I got to The Name of the Wind, so it's all good. In the comments down below, let me know what you read in April. I would love to know, how many books did you read? Are you okay with having reading months where you don't read as much as usual, or does it really bring you down? How do you feel about wrap-up shaming? I would also like to know about that. And yeah, if you have read The Raven Boys, definitely talk to me about them. I'm really pumped for that series. And yes, thanks so much for watching. I will hopefully see you all again in another video very soon. So, goodbye!